Hello and welcome out to this episode of Outbreak Gamers. I'm your host, David Anthony. WebDave is my gamer tag, and I'm here with the one, the only King David. Sir, how are you doing? Oh, I did it. David, how you doing, sir?
It's an inside joke.
It
I'm
is.
fantastic. I couldn't wait to be here. I know we was working on it in the backgrounds to get this done. I see you on Boom Show a lot, so I'm just like, yo, definitely 100%. I'm in there.
Thank you,
Any
sir. I
friend of
appreciate
Boom's
that.
is a friend of mine.
Oh man, that's awesome. That means a lot. That really does. And like I said, I'm excited to have you on today. As you tell, like I said, I watched you for a long time. I've been watching. The internet. COVID really got me to because I was at home, work from home for the bank for the last couple of years, and it was like you know the first couple of weeks I was like going with the traditional kind of like IGN and stuff like that, and it was like they
Yeah,
just weren't really talking anything like my opinions at all, and I was just like,
yeah,
what is this? So I started digging around and did some searches, and then found Boom, found you guys, and dealer
dealers,
and
man.
Randall Thor 19, all these
Yeah,
great community people. And one of the things that I had as I was more on watch and listen, I thought, sometimes you get little tidbits, and it's like, you just kind of want to know more about these people. And I thought, this would be a great way to get to for people to get to know some of these amazing content providers that are putting out these great content that are, I mean, to me, you're a superstar when it comes to the gaming community. I know,
eh.
but anyway, so
Eh.
there's a lot of people out there that totally respect what you do and everything you bring to the table. So thank you so much for being on here today.
Oh man, listen, thank you for having me. Listen, I remember when we had 3 to 7 people watching us,
Hmm.
and we just go to hang out, to be honest with you, and you talk games because we love games. And to have anybody see me and know who the hell I am is just, hey man, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. That's awesome. I usually don't wear my glasses, but I started the show with them on, and I'm not even thinking I'm taking those off.
Oh yeah. See, I have when I do my combat talk or when I do KOS, yeah, I have
Oh,
to
there you
because I have
go.
to read my super chats.
Exactly, exactly. I had eye surgery, and it was like the doctor's like it'd be great. He's like, oh cool, and then as soon as I realized that getting my long vision fixed took away my being able
Yeah.
to see up close, I was like, now I got to wear cheaters the rest of my life.
Yeah,
Thanks, doc.
that's a huge thing. They don't tell you ahead of time
Mm-mm.
exactly the give and takes for stuff. So, because I have a palsy, a fourth nerve palsy
Oh
in my right
goodness.
eye from a car accident.
Oh
So,
yeah,
and we had an eye doctor on the show, which was really crazy. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
absolutely dope, man. Yeah. So,
That's awesome though. That I mean that like you said, and you sometimes you got to do the things. For
yep.
me, I was sitting in the chair one day where I wore glasses. I was in the third grade, and then it was like I just kind of like saw some flashes out of the corner of my eye, and I looked around. I was
Yeah.
like, "Is that somebody taking a picture?" Then the next day, I slowly started getting this black bar, and found out that my retina had detached.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So like I went in to see my doctor, and he's like, "Oh, I got you. We're gonna have to refer you to a specialist." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay." And when I went in to see the specialist, he was just coming out of surgery. So I met him there at the surgical center. That's
Yeah.
how important they deemed that it was that he talked to me.
Very important.
It's exactly so he got done, and he sort of looked at me, examined the eye, and he goes,
Well, you ready? You
when's the
ready?
last time you ate? And I said, well, like early this morning. So, it's been like 6 a.m. He's
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. So like about another hour, we'll be able to get you into surgery. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Is
And I'm
that
like calling my
serious?
wife saying, honey, I gotta have surgery. And she's like, well, I'll be right there. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's
It
that
was just
serious. The
weird.
eyesight is that
Yeah.
serious, of
Yeah.
course.
So I mean, thank God, they took care of me. But yeah, it was scary. But now and then when I had that done, they're like, well, we can fix the vision in your other eye too while we're at it. So that's how they talk me into like, a
I
return
could tell.
customer.
He'll
So
be back. He'll
exactly. You don't want to be a pirate all your life, do you? Arr, Captain.
Arr. Yeah,
Yeah.
yo, that's exactly what the doctor told me. She said, well, you could wear an eye patch. I'm like, this is not even funny.
Yeah, exactly. This
It's like,
it's
I
a
don't even get
Halloween
paid.
costume the rest of your life. Thanks.
Like, no. I play Sea of Thieves. I don't want to be a pirate.
Exactly, exactly. Oh my goodness. Well, let's get this started by talking about some of the jobs you've had in your career. Like, just, I mean, like maybe like your first job and what you've led. You know, what you've gone through. I
Sheesh.
know
My
could be
first
anything.
job. My first job was delivering flyers for the Chinese restaurant. Um,
There you go.
no, no, no. That's an absolute lie.
Oh,
No, that's an absolute lie. My first job was packing bags in a supermarket.
there you go.
That was my first job. And then I was delivering flyers for the Chinese restaurant because back when I grew up, Chinese restaurants was you probably had one per neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And we weren't really kind to our foreign brothers and sisters, coming over. So they couldn't go inside the projects because they would get robbed. But how else are you supposed to? Because they weren't doing delivery, they would just do takeout,
Hmm.
just it only. And how else would you get word of mouth out? Excuse me, or to make your orders, you
Yeah.
had to put the flyers in the doors. So why not talk to the natives that actually live there and put the flyers up?
Makes
So,
sense.
pay me and I will go do it. Plus, and every night, I got paid. They gave me free Chinese food, so it was a
Uh,
win-win.
I was gonna say that sounds really good, man.
Hell
Talk
yeah,
about tip money.
beef and broccoli, 100%. That's when
Nice,
I ate
nice.
actual meat back then.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
from there, you have your little odds and ends jobs or whatever. That like what is that? Burger King,
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, stuff like that. Then you start working up to go to different jobs. Went to Albert Einstein College of Medicine. Uh,
Wow.
went to the Animal Institute, worked there. The big break that changed everything for me is when my ex-wife got pregnant. And I said, well, I was watching a documentary at night. Right? Don't ever watch documentaries, right? Because and it was about postpartum depression. How women will just snap sometimes, and kill the kids.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Freaked me out.
I imagine.
So I told her, I'm in the room, she was asleep. I was like, hey babe, wake up. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, as soon as the baby's born, yeah, you're gonna go to work in the day, and I'm going to, work at night, but you're not gonna be with the kids, right? So, from there, I was like full time, daddy mom, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, like go to work in the day, and I work at night. So, I was trying to figure it out, and she was like, "Well, what are you gonna do for money?" And I was like, "I don't know, God to figure it out,"
Yeah.
and He did figured it out, and from there I grew businesses in print media and distribution, uh, and I partnered with a couple of companies, and it just stuck with me. It was like something that I couldn't shake it if I wanted to, right?
Mhm.
And it instilled a work habit inside of me and a work ethic uh, that is somebody once told me, you don't have to love your job, but you do your job like you love it,
Mm.
right? Because you never know
Yeah.
who's watching at any time, you know. And then you always have to have a level of professionalism, no matter what. Because remember that time when you were going in looking for that job, you were hopeful, you were happy, and when they said yes, you went home with a smile on your face because you were able to earn.
Mhm.
Keep that same energy from that moment all the way through. You be a professional from the day you start to the day you quit.
That's awesome.
And I've always kept that with me. You always got to be professional at all times. So, that has served me very well because, I was watching Undercover Boss, and I find it actually hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, people are so grateful in the beginning, but they become so jaded. And if
Mm.
you go to work and it's something that you truly do not love and something that you do not want to do, quit and find something else.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing in the world is waking up in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day and you don't want to go to work.
Yeah.
So and then you bring that attitude throughout the day. I greet everybody every day with a good morning, how are you? Good smile, because you never know what's going on in that person's head. You don't know at what point are they at. Your negative energy can transform into something totally different into that person. So
Yeah.
you go with a smile, and you never know, that positive energy might change their day. It might change their life. I saw a guy today that I normally deal with. He delivers to food trucks. He delivers the actual, beverages and stuff they need to sell.
Hmm.
And I said, "Good morning, brother. How are you today? Happy Father's Day if I don't see you this weekend," which, I won't. But, he said, "My
Nice.
God." He said, "That was the best thing I heard today. Thank you so much. I
Nice.
needed that right now." So, please greet people with a smile, especially during this point in time where, what's going on in the world. Everybody needs a smile and a hello and, good morning or have a great day type of feel. Because I believe that's, very important.
Yeah. So much truth in what you just said. That's and a little bit of kindness goes a long way.
Yes, it does.
So
It
I mean,
does.
it does. You always try and put yourself, or at least I do, and it sounds like you do too. Kind of put yourself in the position of what that person may be going through. Like
Exactly.
when if I go through a drive-through, or if I go pick up something from Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that, and I'm always thank you all for working. I appreciate you putting in hard effort, and sometimes they get a big smile on their face, or they're
Yep.
like, or like, well, I haven't heard that today, or usually I'm getting yelled at, or that kind of thing. And I'm just like, well, dude, I appreciate you, everything you do. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, exactly. And
Especially if
it
they're
makes a
dealing with your
difference.
food.
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly,
Thank
exactly.
you so
Has to have a
much.
bit of a wang to it. Mm.
I know, right? I remember you from yesterday.
Yeah, really. You
Special
didn't tip
sauce.
me.
No, no,
Mm-mm.
no, please, no.
Yeah, special sauce. Oh, special sauce. No, no.
No special sauce, please, no.
Oh Lord. Ah, that's too funny. Oh goodness. So I guess so right now I guess your work is you have kind of your own businesses. Is that
Yeah,
basically
I
it?
have
Uh,
2 companies. Well, the first boy, oh boy. I used to have
okay.
3 till
Oh wow.
COVID showed up.
Ooh yeah.
Oh, COVID, you know him very well.
Yep.
The destroyer of the middle class.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, wrecked and destroyed everything. I had one company
Mhm.
holding on by a thread, and, I was able to salvage that and build another one from the remnants. But the last one will never come back. The one that was the most lucrative will never come back because the hotel uh, structure in New
Mhm.
York City has been rocked to its foundations.
Yeah.
People really don't understand. Like, okay, so a lot of times when you come in and you see something like Trump Towers or you see something like the Grand Hyatt or something like that,
Mhm.
you see those big hotels. But they have a bunch of little hotels that they do manage all over the place,
Oh yeah.
right? And they're part of their collective. And sometimes if you don't have if let's say they overbooked and you don't have a room over here, they send you down to one of their sister hotels that has a suite there. And you're
Mhm.
like, "Oh my God, this is so quaint. This is so nice." And then they'll send you over in a car service, pick you up, do whatever they can do to accommodate you.
Mhm.
First thing that happened soon as COVID hit was became too costly for them to clean the rooms after every person stayed.
Mm.
They shuttered them. They cut them down. They showed them. They closed them down. And I had a private security company there in each little hotel, making
Wow.
a ton of bread.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
Oh no.
Yeah. So yeah, and the people that were working there are no longer working there. All right. Those literally shuttered. I drive past one every day and I just like shake my head. Like the economy hasn't come back. People think that the economy is come back. We're in a huge recession at this
Yes.
moment right now.
Yep.
Inflation is at its all-time high, and it's the only reason why, because this is the after effects of all those stimulus checks to inflate the economy,
Hmm.
to make you think everything is okay. Now the bottom is out. Now the true growth begins. You have to come back here. So I've been on ground level one. I've been seeing exactly what it is, and it's actually horrible. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Wow.
But again, I get up with a smile every day because there's always someone worse off than you. You
Right.
can lose an eye, but there's someone that's out there that's blind. You can
Right.
lose a leg. There's somebody's out there that doesn't have two legs. So just
Hmm.
always be grateful for whatever you have, because it can always absolutely be worse.
Right. Amen is the best way to say that.
Yeah, man.
You know. So yeah. So I guess, but I mean, obviously, some of your businesses are, or at least on their feet to where you're
Oh yeah,
comfortable with, right?
no.
So everything's good now.
I make good investments, make
Nice.
sound choices. As much as you see, like, statues and stuff like that, I'm very absolutely frugal. You know,
We're gonna get into
yeah,
that.
people think, "Oh, he's a spendthrift." Absolutely not. Um, but
Yeah.
it's prudent decisions, and everything that you do, you have to have a follow through. It's like a
Hmm.
golf swing. Got to follow through. Can't half-ass it. Excuse me. You
No,
you
no.
gotta 100% follow through with everything. You got to commit all the way through. That's the only way you're gonna see actual growth.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this. Man, I'm glad you're on today.
Thank you so much.
Oh, this is great, man. This is great. So I guess let's kind of turn the subject a little bit, and we
Right.
will get to your statues and things here in just a little bit, your collection, as it were. But let's get into, I guess, obviously you play games, and you had to kind of start somewhere. Where did you get the bug? Is it arcade, or home console? What brought you into gaming?
Okay, well, I grew up in the Bronx, New York, where when I was growing up, it was really terrible.
Right.
So, we tried to do anything to escape our actual reality. And it started off with either in television. It was Pong, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Hmm.
My cousin comes, I go down to my cousin's house, and he has a Pong system. It's like a little paddle.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and he has it, hooked up to the RF, and it's on the television, and it's like boom, 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 boom. We were totally addicted. Had so much fun doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then a television or ColecoVision came out, then Atari came out, and I purchased every console myself
Nice.
from the age of 8 to whatever. Like I said, I was packing bags, and to be honest with you, I had a nice little cute little face, and I can actually pack bags really well. I was playing Tetris
uh,
before Tetris was made, and, I
nice.
was packing that bag nice, and I was helping old ladies home, and I was doing whatever I had to do. I
Yeah.
come from a one parent household, right? And
Hmm.
yeah, so I'll buy my console. I brought my ColecoVision. I brought my Intellivision. I brought my Vectrex, my Atari 2600, 5200, 7800, my Nintendo. Every console that ever came out,
Yeah.
I've purchased. And,
That's awesome.
all the games that, I needed at that time, where, back then, you get 2 games a year, bruh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can maintain. Not now.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Games dropping every day.
Yeah. And the
Ridiculous.
games back then, people sometimes don't realize that, like, even the Atari games, they're like, could be almost $100 a pop.
Yeah, the way the chips were costing,
Hmm.
I brought ET. Yeah, I contributed to the crash.
So yeah, I mean, that's awesome. So after I guess those kind of consoles, what got you into next? I mean, was it the Nintendo? Was it the Super Nintendo?
I
You know,
remember seeing the commercial for the Nintendo with Rob the robot. Right,
yeah,
and I was
remember
like,
that?
"Oh my god, that looks amazing." Because remember, we went through that lull
Oh,
after
yes.
the Atari, right? So go through
Hmm.
a huge lull, and Nintendo shows up with this Rob the Robot. I go out and get the shebang box, Rob the Robot, and the
Awesome.
light gun, and all this and sit down, use Rob one time. One time. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, this guy is ridiculous. I don't want to use him. Anyway, so but the Nintendo blowing the cartridges, and it was just a whole nother level. And then I went and got a Sega Master System
Mhm.
because my cousin down the hallway, well, my sister's godmother, her son, so he's like family anyway.
Sure.
He had the Sega Master System, and
Mm.
they had cartridges and cards. And
Yeah.
I was like, what? They had Double Dragon. I was like, what? The two players could play? I was like, Nintendo doesn't do that. Oh, I gotta get this. Got that.
Nice.
And I kind of like fell off a little bit because I'm going through my adolescence times from games. And I remember walking in the Wiz. That's an electronic store,
Mhm.
the Wiz. And I walked in the Wiz and I forgot what I was going in there for, probably like a Walkman or something. And I heard "Rise from Your Grave," and I looked up and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And it was Altered Beast
Yep.
on the Sega Genesis. Imma tell you, I had
Great.
a rush through my body. I was like, "What the hell is that?" They was like, "Oh, that's a new 16-bit console from Sega." Excuse me.
Mhm.
Wait, 16-bit console from Sega? Like, it talks? Say, yeah. Yo, I saw the guy morph into the wolf.
Yeah.
If you don't give me this console right now, I remember he went behind the glass that had it like a glass, they could put the key in and then
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that and
yeah.
pulled out the console. I could not run up the hill fast enough. Ran up the hill, ran to the house, run inside the room, closed the door. My mother's like, "What happened?" Nothing. Open up the box, take it out. Oh my God. The Sega Genesis was absolutely life changing for me.
Yeah.
It was all it built up to be, and it was absolutely outrageous, and everything that it offered. And then along came, Super Nintendo and Turbo Graphics. I was really a Turbo Graphics head.
I had one too. I loved him.
I got one now. I got a little mini inside the room.
Very cool. Very cool.
I love that little thing. Um, I went to my friend's house, and he had Keith Courage and whatever it's called. And I was like, "What's this?" He was like, Turbo Graphics 16." I was like, "Turbo Graphics 16? Who the hell makes that?" I don't know, NEC or somebody. I don't know. And he puts it in, and then he's like, I'm like looking at the colors and listening to the music. Then he had bongs.
Oh, yeah. Bonks was the
I was like,
best.
"Oh, I got to get this guy. He eats meat and gets crazy."
Yep.
And he hits people with his head. This is dope. This is absolutely incredible. And then got Ninja Scroll and all this other stuff. Incredible console. Probably the best, most underrated console of my time was the TurboGrafx 16. Then I found out the PC Engine was the actual console, and the TurboGrafx was the byproduct of that. Marketed to the U.S. It was
Right.
larger,
Mhm.
is black, because they feel that, it has to be menacing and it has to be larger for our, market, but it's
Yeah.
fine. I got a PC Engine as I found out. We started going down to imports. Shout out to Cognito, and I got
Awesome.
a PC Engine. That was the best purchase that I've did. It was absolutely incredible. It's the game library. The PC Engine was the pure, undisputed heavyweight champion of Japan for its
Yeah.
time. It was
Mhm.
beating Nintendo all over the place, and it was actually probably the best console. That it's still very popular there now.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Japan, you can get them up at the shops.
That's awesome. I used to have one, the American version,
Yeah.
and I'm with you though. I loved it. Even I think there was the CD at one
Oh,
point.
I got the CD when it came
Yeah.
out, and I was playing Ease, Wise, and 2, 1 and 2.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. Yes, I had that. Played those. Yeah.
my
Amazing.
mother came in and she was like, "What cartoon you watching?" I said, "No, this is the video game." She said, "That's the video game?" I said, "Yeah." I mean, when it went to the game, it was a little sprite,
Right.
walking
Right.
around, but the cinematic stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's still it was got to
Yeah.
start somewhere is the way I look at it.
One speed CD. Let's go.
Exactly, 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 exactly. I mean, you think where we started with Pong.
Yeah. To where we're at.
Oh, to where we're at now. Ooh,
I
holy
can't
crap.
stand people complaining. Don't complain to me. Don't
Mm-mm.
please don't let me hear your complaints, man.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So I guess, and then you probably got into, I guess, as the time went on, like the Xbox, the PlayStation, those kind of things.
Everything.
Yeah,
The
everything.
PlayStation shook the industry
Hmm.
because Nintendo was forcing Ultra 64 down your throat, and they had the Final Fantasy that was coming for them, and they showed a little demo of it, and they promised Silicon Graphics, workstation type graphics,
Hmm.
and
I
it
remember those
never
ads.
lived up to that bill.
Mm.
If you don't believe me, look at Killer Instinct for the Nintendo 64 and look at Killer Instinct for the arcade. It
Right.
speaks for itself.
Yep.
They said it was the same motherboard. It actually wasn't, so but the PlayStation came, and when they did Final Fantasy, they were bold, they were brash, they were brave. The stuff that they did with the CD format, because they were the proprietary owners of that format,
Hmm.
and they were able to leverage it in a way that Philips couldn't. And
Hmm.
they utilized it in a manner that, because remember the Philips CDI came out around the same time, and
Yeah.
Nintendo did a partnership with them instead of doing the partnership with Sony that
Right.
actually birthed the PlayStation. And I was just there for the whole thing that happened. I even brought a CDI. I even have that Zelda game,
Wow, that's
but
awesome.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
much trash.
so
Um,
much trash.
so much trash. But yeah, that the PlayStation changed how we saw games, because their focus was on 3D
Hmm.
and the actual worlds that they can craft from so much data that was able to be on those CDs. And Nintendo, limited in scope, they just wanted to make sure that they owned every cartridge. Every cartridge sold was purchased from Nintendo. They were making a profit from this stuff.
Right.
So if you wanted to make a game, you had to buy the cartridges from them,
Yep.
and they would provide these to them. So yeah, Sony was like, no, they did a whole different structure. They changed fundamentally how we got games and how the
True.
business was done. And they actually pushed Nintendo into a corner, to force them to fight. I mean, Sony had a great strategy, and Sony actually birthed Microsoft, which is actually crazy.
It is, isn't
So
it?
yeah, so
Yep.
everything is a cause and effect, and it is a beautiful cause and effect. But I've been on every forefront for every video game console because I'm a gamer at
Hmm.
heart, even handhelds. I mean, I had Wonder Swans, Wonder Swan Color, Neo Geo
Nice.
Pocket, Game Gears, TurboGrafx Express,
I had
everything.
one of those. Yeah. Do you have
Yeah.
Atari Lynx?
Yeah. Oh, that, like, we
I
would sit
love
in the
that.
house just linked up to each other,
I love that
playing the
thing. I
links.
wish I
Went
still
from the
had mine.
big one to the
Yep.
little one. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, or the Turbo Graphics handheld.
Oh,
That thing
yes,
was
sir.
so sweet. That I
Yeah.
love that image. There was even at one time I
TV
had, this
tuner.
was hard to come by, was the TV add-on.
Yeah, the TV tuner.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You said it. Sorry, but yeah,
yeah.
you plug it in and watch the TV. I'm like,
Had
this is
like
so cool.
5 minutes battery life, took like 20 batteries.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
I used
Exactly.
to sit next to the wall just to have it plugged in and just play.
There you go. Yep. Yep. But it was cool,
Incredible.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just slide
So
the cartridge right inside and played exactly what you have in the house on the go. I
yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
the impetus for the Switch,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The Switch
Yeah.
before the Switch.
Yeah, exactly. And that's and but I tell you when guys came like Nintendo, I mean the they had downtimes and then they got themselves back up by being innovative.
Yeah,
Same way with Sony.
force.
The PlayStation 2 is probably one of the biggest selling consoles of all time. And it was a DVD player, which was huge at the
Yep.
time.
Nobody
And
had
then
DVD players.
and then the PlayStation 3 came out and they kind of stumbled just a little. The
Well,
sales weren't as good
the
as
Blu-ray.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they were trying to sell Blu-ray,
Yeah.
and Ken Katarogi was he was ahead of his time.
Yes.
The console was hard to program for, but when you did get into the hardware, you actually produce games at the end of that generation that
Mhm.
look phenomenal.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah. It was.
Agreed.
I had the George Foreman grill one.
Me too, because
Yeah,
it was backwards compatible. I
yes,
love that. That was
yes,
great,
yeah,
man. Put
hell
them all in
yeah.
there.
And they
Yeah,
realized they was giving away too much. They said, "No way, you're
yeah.
gonna take it out."
I remember when it was like, it's like $700 for
Yeah,
that top of the line model, and it was
I was
like,
there day one.
yeah, but
Give
I
it
mean, there
to
were a lot of
me.
people that were like, "Oh,
Yeah, now when he
no."
told you got to get a second job for this, he
Yeah.
wasn't joking. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
if you
Yep.
look at inflation, scored to inflation now, that's probably like what, double the price, 1,400.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Ooh, crazy
Yeah,
though, but
yeah.
I'm with you, man. Those days were great. But you talking about handhelds? I assume you have a Steam Deck?
No,
No?
I
Okay.
canceled mine.
Did you? Did you?
Yeah, I got in, I had everything, it was ready to ship, and I was like,
Don't need it?
nope.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
I
with you.
said, I'll wait.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
wait because
I
I had
got
an
one to do a lot of
Alienware too. I
emulation.
brought that Alienware.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah, I was
nice.
that guy. I had
No,
a
that's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, I had a steam machine. Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
they got me once, and I can
Yeah,
get
they're
me
not gonna
again.
do it again.
I'll
Yeah, I
wait.
get it. I get it. I mean, that makes sense. See, they definitely, if a product of theirs doesn't work good, they abandon it pretty quick.
Yeah, very quickly.
Yeah,
If it
and
doesn't
I
have
think,
market penetration,
yeah, and that particular what you were talking about, this Alienware type thing. But I mean that they ended up making like, like if you do a search for eBay, I think like 15 or 18 different models of it
yeah.
because
Well,
they were like,
because what they
let's try
did
this over
was
here. Let's do this.
they took the 3DO approach to manufacturing.
Right.
They licensed out the specs and allowed different manufacturers to build their own
Hmm.
steam machine. Excuse me.
Hmm.
So you would have one from Alienware, you would have one from Hewlett Packard, and so on. So the Alienware one was probably pretty much the default because you looked at the pedigree of the companies that were involved. So you would
Hmm.
go with the Alienware, but the other ones had capable machines as well because the actual hardware was the controller. It was really a PC with the user interface,
Hmm.
to it for you to play Steam. So
Right.
it was a good premise, and they tried to capitalize off of the 3DO's model,
Yep.
but the 3DO had a failed model, and i.e., yeah, Steam
That failed
Machine
too.
failed as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. But it seems like if they had maybe focused with just one,
Yeah,
like toward brand recognition would have been like, when you walk into a store and it's like you see the same thing you've seen in ads or seen at your friend's house, but then when you walk into a store and you're like two or three different models, it's like, what? I don't know which one to get. One,
well,
it,
the biggest
it's
problem with it is going into the arena with juggernauts as such as the big three.
yeah,
Right? Microsoft's still stumbling and bumbling, but they're still selling,
right.
right? And this is at the time where it's a 360 and it's absolutely killing. And they're going into the Xbox One. So we didn't know what was going to happen there,
Hmm.
right? And then you have the PlayStation, which PlayStation 3 is actually doing this thing, and you hear words of the PlayStation 4, and Nintendo's coming off of the Wii and the Wii U debacle. But you hear about the next console that they're making. So to get into that arena to offer games where mainly all you have is a service that facilitates other people games,
Hmm.
and then you go into a business model where you have other people manufacturing your hardware, then what is your true identity? It was doomed to fail from the beginning. So
Right.
I didn't see it actually winning. I just wanted to have a part of history.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. And who knows? Maybe one of these days you'll end up getting one if they come down on price, maybe, or something.
Oh,
Or
Steam Deck? Nah,
yeah,
it'll find its way in my house.
one
at,
of these
some,
days. Yeah,
at
there
some
you
point
go.
in time, yeah,
There you
it'll
go.
find its way here.
There you go. There you go. Uh, did you happen to have a TurboGrafx?
Yeah.
Not TurboGrafx. I meant the Neo Geo, the
Oh, of
home
course.
arcade one.
Of
Me too.
course.
Oh my
I
god,
was paying
love that controllers.
$250 a cartridge.
Yeah.
I had every cartridge they had. And then when they went to CD, I brought every iteration of the CD.
Nice.
Let me see. I even have the latest Neo Geo Gold console that came with
That's
the big
cool.
controllers that is
Yeah.
portable, that you can take it out and you
Oh,
can
that's
actually
crazy.
play the
That's
little
cool.
handheld. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I'm a Neo Geo junkie. I've been there since um what was it? Magic, Magician
yes.
Lord,
Magician Lord. Yep.
uh every game,
King of
Fatal
Monsters.
Fury, King of the Monsters, every game that came out, I'll
Yeah,
call them on the phone. They was like, "Yo, we got it in. I'm coming right down there right now.
yeah.
Go pick
Their
it up."
baseball games are still some of them,
Oh,
some of my favorite.
baseball stars,
Yeah,
boy. When that dude hit the ball and the guy goes,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
watched it travel out the ball.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god! And baseball stars 2020.
Mm.
Oh, and you dive and catch. Man, listen, these guys won't ever really understand like the forefront of exactly having these graphics in the arcade
Mhm.
and then going home and playing the same exact thing.
Yeah,
Nuts. At that
yeah,
time,
absolutely.
nuts.
Yeah, and the cartridges were so huge, man. I mean, they were
Yep.
bigger than a VHS
Yeah.
case. Yeah,
Because it
and
was
it's like,
actually from the motherboard. It was
I
just
know.
actually a board.
Yeah, it was
Somebody said,
great.
"Well, give them to them. Give them to them. If they're gonna buy it, give it to them. Sell it to them." I was like, "Neo Geo, thank you."
Amen. Amen. Yeah. When I got mine, it was aftermarket. It was a few years after they had come out, and
Yeah.
the hardest thing for me to find was a memory card. I finally got one, and I got a
I
bunch of
never
games.
had one.
The memory card to me was the hardest thing to find.
Yeah,
So and
it
I ended up
was
having to get
because
one from
you had to
the
get
company in
import.
Japan.
Oh, you
Yes.
got the import, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. I I
Yeah.
I never had one because the whole thing about it was the whole catch to it was you could take your progress or whatever
Mhm.
and take it to the arcade.
Right.
And because they had a slot.
Yeah.
And I saw the slots there because I would be down in Canal Street. And I was like, wow. But when you're paying $250 a cartridge
Yes.
and they tell you, hey, here's this memory card for $100, I'm like, does it work without it? Yeah. Well, forget
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, I didn't need it, but I just, it's one of those things where it's like, it's part of the
Yeah,
thing. I need to have it.
exactly.
So yeah.
We're junkies.
we
I
we
I
are
don't need it,
collectors.
but I want it.
So, well, I guess, that's a good forefront into, let's talk about how you got started on your collecting and well, the collection that you have now, and then maybe even what's your prized possession. I
All
know
right.
you have one that you like over all the rest.
All right.
Maybe.
So my wife and I is driving.
Mm-hmm.
And it's late night, going to check on the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And we drive past the comic book store called Forbidden Planets on 14th Street. And they
Cool.
have an Incredible Hulk in the window, a Gladiator Hulk, and he's holding a shield. Huge stature.
Yeah.
Stopped the car, jump out, ran to the window. Oh my God. This is absolutely amazing. She was like, yeah,
Awesome.
it's beautiful. It's my greatest storyline of the Incredible Hulk. Greatest.
Yeah.
A story of isolation, betrayal, love, revenge. It's incredible. It's absolutely nuts. It's insane. And they made a statue of it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, what the hell? I got to come when they open. Came back in the day with her. Go inside, hop out, like, watch the car, babe. Run inside. Yo, how much is that Hulk in the window? He said $600. I said, are you crazy?
Well,
Are you crazy? I wish that was the cheapest price I've ever paid for a statue. I will get to that in a second.
all right.
I said, I'm gonna pay my $600. Jumped in the car, left. Came back the next day. That's the best you could do. And he's like,
Sound about
yeah,
it.
that's the best I could do. Either take it or leave it. I said, somebody's gonna buy it. And somebody looked at it and was like, yo, how much is that Hulk in the window? I said, yo, I'll take it. Give it to me right now. Let's go. Gave him the
There you
money,
go.
got the box out, boxed it up, took it home, got home. At this point in time, I'm living in a condo.
Oh, okay.
Living in a condo. And it's a 2-bedroom condo. We already converted the living room into a bedroom. So I put my statue up. All right. So I want to know more, like where they come from and stuff.
Yeah.
Cardinal
Yeah.
sin. I threw away the shipper box, the art box, the foam. Never do that. Okay.
No,
First
never do
time
that.
owner, never do that. I don't even throw away my console boxes. I still got
Same or all my closets.
I still got boxes for hardware and stuff in it.
Yeah, I do the same thing, man.
But I threw out the most important box, right? Yeah, okay. Nutcase.
Yeah.
But it didn't have any space. So I'm staying up all night on eBay and I'm making, this is how the addiction starts. You
Yep.
see it, see a price. I go into these open bids and I bid and I lose. One day I bid on a apocalypse statue from Sideshow. $300. I lowball the hell out of this. I go to sleep and I wake up. They was like, you won, pay. I said, what? 300? Whatever. I pay. This statue comes, it's bigger than the Hulk statue that I have. Now I have a problem. I
More
got,
ways than one.
I got a problem. Like,
Yeah.
there's no space. So this is the part where I start plotting. We got to move. I got to buy a house. Got to move.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So we move within like a year or two.
Yeah.
Get to the house. Once we get to the house, it's just a 4-story house, 3,000 square foot.
Wow.
Like the basement's mine. Now, when we got here, that basement looked like Freddy Krueger's basement.
Needed some work, huh?
Like needed work. This to put it mildly. The day we closed is the day I called the roof. I changed everything. Called Cornings, do the basement. We went over to the floor designs and everything. Used to be a huge partition here. Did everything, ripped everything out, did everything. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Thank you. Now I can do what I want to do. Now's the time.
Excellent.
Begins. And at
That's
that time,
great.
I just started buying everything. Sideshow. I was on Sideshow website.
Mhm.
Everything. eBay, Sideshow, eBay, Sideshow, eBay, Sideshow. Then I got in contact with some dudes on Facebook, and that's when I found there were nerds and geeks just like me. Shout out to Thor from DCX. They had me on the show because I started doing unboxings on Iron Lord's channel.
Yeah, yeah.
And KOS, I got an intro, did everything. Oh, I'm gonna talk about the stuff I love because I got 65,000 comic books.
Nice.
So I read my books and I'll talk about my books. That's basically it. So they invited me on the show, and me and the host kicked it off, and it was just like it was dope. Shout out to Roddy, shout out to everybody at DCX. So I started becoming a regular on the show.
Yeah.
Then they started teaching me how to really collect, like not what I was doing, and not the stuff that I was housing them in. I was housing
Mhm.
them wrong. So they sent me over to my boy Junior's house because Junior was selling some statues, and
Mhm.
I had purchased the first time off of eBay. I purchased my Iron Fist statue, and I got it. It was an XM Studios Iron Fist. That's the first XM Studio statue I purchased.
Mhm.
And the moment it came, it's the difference in knowing a Ferrari and a Ford.
Yeah.
It's a difference from going from fine dining to McDonald's, and McDonald's. Sideshow, no disrespect, is McDonald's and it's a Ford.
Yeah.
These guys are Ferraris. It
Wow.
comes in the boxes. The the build on the statue, the design, the scope, the paint job, everything is completely top notch. So you understand why you pay a little bit more. That
Mhm.
moment I said I'm converting all my statues over to XM. So I was selling statues left and right. Get out of here. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Putting them inside the Facebook forums. You gotta go. You gotta get out of here. So I went to my boy Junior's house, and I'm going over to his house. And before I got there, because he said he was selling a lot of his XM collection.
Yeah.
Before I got there, he said, "Well, which ones you want?" I said, "Everything." Before I got there, I sent him $4,500. When I pull up, just start boxing because I'm taking them, and they're going home with me because he had Ghost Rider. He had a ton of statues. I wind up
Nice.
spending more money with him. I probably spent like 10 grand with him. on set,
Nice.
because I took his whole collection. Um, but yeah, XM Studios. And then I started talking to distributors and stuff like that, and I went with some Maji cases and got some Maji cases. But to get to the greatest statue that I have, I gotta say the one that I'm most in love with at the moment, because
Mhm.
I have statues like I have the Doctor Doom there, which I freaking love so much, and that's from Sideshow, something I won't never get rid of.
Right.
Um, but I have a Queen Studios Hawk on Throne, and
I've
it's
seen that one.
huge. It's a savage. It's absolutely huge, and it's so it depicts the scene so well as after he conquered and after he takes a breath, after he sits there and his throne is made out of concrete and his weapons is all around him, and they have that scene so well, and they have it with the helmet on, with the helmet off,
Mhm.
with the king headband, with a grin, without the grin.
Is
It
that the one where
is
he has the beard too, right?
no, no, no,
No, no, no,
no,
no.
no.
Okay, no.
That's Maestro. I,
Okay,
I
yeah.
I have that one in order.
Okay.
Yeah, that one is
Go
three
ahead, go ahead,
thousand
yeah.
five hundred. But
Whoo!
the most I've spent for a statue was Hulkbuster. I paid $4,500 for a
Wow,
single statue.
wow.
But
Yeah, the
I just
Hulkbuster's
recently
awesome.
sold it for 5,500. I could have sold it to more, but I was selling it to a friend of mine. So
Nice.
I could have sold it for 7,000, but I was like, nah, he's my friend. So
Right.
I give it to him for five. And he gave me a lot of stuff back, and it was good. We made a good
That's
trade.
awesome, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, I mean, it's obviously a very prominent passion in your life,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
great, man.
But you run out of space very quickly because you can't get rid of the boxes. See, the statues aren't the problem. The statues will, take up the space.
Yeah.
Where's the boxes?
Yeah. Do you have, like, a
That's the
storage room
problem.
or
Oh well, I have tons of space. So I have a
yeah.
storage shed and I have attic. So tons of
There you go.
space.
Nice, nice,
So,
nice. That's
nah,
cool, man.
I'm done.
For now anyway,
And
right?
I told the wife, I was like, unless we move into a 5,000 square foot house, which will probably happen. If COVID didn't happen, if COVID
Yeah,
didn't happen, that would have happened.
right. Already been there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into I guess how you got into podcasting and being on shows, and then of course now you're a proud member of the Iron Lords podcast. So how did all that come together, and how did you fall into that gig,
Okay.
as it were?
Well, my cousin's Lord Cognito, and
There you go. See, I didn't
he,
know that. I didn't know he was your actual cousin. That's cool.
yeah, yeah, we're actually family.
Nice.
So, he was on with Attic, and I knew Attic separately. I
Hmm.
didn't even know he knew Attic. So I knew Attic separately, and Sovereign is our childhood friend. Um, so we all know each other. He was on the show and he was doing a show, and it was a Destiny podcast, and he had a different group of friends that were on it. It was okay, and he had us on separately, and we just stayed because normally every Saturday that's all we would do was hang out and play video games anyway. So all we did was just transform exactly what we did on Saturday to what you see now.
Right.
Plus Attic, because Attic didn't grow up with us, but Attic, like I said, separately, he built a rapport with my cousin, then he built a rapport with me. So we had that already built in, and like I said, I'm a person that if I'm going to do something, I'm gonna do it something to my fullest. I'm going to get to
Yeah.
give 110%. So I'm the marketing director of Iron Lords podcast. We took it from 7 views to I don't know how many views we get now per people,
A
to an
lot.
LLC.
Yeah.
And respect and rest in peace to Dizzy. We formed lordsofgaming.net, and stand on this square that it rivals anything that you can see at IGN. Just go check it out, and I honestly believe in every last one of the writers that we do have that's there. we've been poached from IGN himself, from a lot of our guys. So it's incredible stuff that we do there. But it's just a group of friends just talking about video games and stuff that we're completely 100% passionate about,
Hmm.
and stuff that we care about. We actually go to these shows. We actually, take anything that we do get from the podcast and put it right back into the podcast. So we go buy the cameras, we go buy the mic. Shout out to Dealer for explaining to us that we needed good mics.
Yeah,
I told these guys that we needed to be on camera, and I made that, a mandate. So, y'all guys are welcome for birthing all the camera people that's out there now,
nice.
because I believe you connect with your audience on a whole different level when they're able to see your emotion, to see your
Yes,
anger, to see your excitement, to see your fear, to see everything. You connect in a whole different manner,
yes,
than just a little avatar, beeping.
I
But
agree with that.
that's what we're about. We're all about inclusive things, like, Boom. Like, we actually go to show. Boom stayed with us that whole week we was at E3, lived in the same house.
Yeah,
We I'm like a financial wizard. So I saw how much it costs to go to E3 and stuff like that, and I figured out a way on how to mitigate the actual total expenses to where it was just a fraction of what you thought it would be. So you can
that's
actually go and
awesome.
stay in E3 in California for a week for like $1,000 and stay in a mansion. We were staying in
Awesome.
huge houses. Every time I go there, I could get like a Corvette or some fast car that I'm driving
Hmm.
around in for a fraction, pennies on a dollar. But you have to teach others. So I just taught, and I just explained how easy it can be to get your flight and to do this and to do that. And they said, "For this, are you serious?" And then when they get there, they're like, "Oh my God, this is actually crazy that I
Hmm.
have my own room. Like, I'm not sleeping in the bed with somebody I don't know." No, that's not happening. But
Yeah.
and we have food. We all chip in. It's all about see, singularly, you would pay a lot, but as a
Yes.
collective, you can divvy that out and spread it out, and it goes a whole lot farther. It's just about being a team at all times.
That's great. That is so true. And then plus two, I mean, you have each other's company, you have each other's back. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
not like by yourself and alone in a big city or somewhere you're not familiar with. You instantly got your friends, your family there
yeah.
with you. That's awesome. That's so awesome, man. That's great. You guys, that you guys have really got this bond. It's the chemistry on the show is absolutely
Because
amazing.
we're ridiculous.
Well, it's true. There's sometimes when you guys ripping each other, and sometimes Adam gets the brunt of things, but that's okay. He's
Addict be
tough.
doing a lot of stuff, man.
That's true. That's true.
Man, he does. He goes at me a lot.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
my
That's
guy.
true. But it's a great show. And of course, the link to the podcast will be in the description below. But man, it is such a fun show. It really is, and you
Thank you.
learn so much. You guys are, I mean, you come from a good place. You have a mutual respect for each other. Occasionally, you'll have some guests on. I've seen Boom on your show before,
Yeah.
and that's how I got to know you guys was
Well, thank you.
started watching Boom, and then Boom's like, I'm gonna be on this podcast. So I started watching. I was like, this is great, so I'm like, subscribe, So that's the
Thank
way I
you.
kind of built the community that I follow is a lot of it's from Mr. Boomstick, So
Boom is a huge help.
yeah.
It's this this community
Mhm.
is so beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, and not just the Xbox community. I'm talking about the gaming community, because the gaming community as a whole, when
Mhm.
we're not bickering and snickering with each other,
Yeah.
it's actually something to marvel at. Because I like Blaze 4K. I'm gonna take the most PlayStation dude, right? And
Mhm.
even J Dub, even Porter Rock, all of them, we're all cool.
Mhm.
We may joke around,
Right.
but we're absolutely cool. So, and there's a level of respect there, because
Yes.
I tend to give the same energy someone gives to me, but I lead with respect, and that's the
Yeah.
only thing that I ask for,
Yeah.
right? And I guess they see that, and that's what they give. So at no point in time is it, can we play video games? Come on, man. this,
Yeah.
this is no Contra or war scandal. This is video games. this is
Exactly.
this is something that we should be happy for. Even if PlayStation gets a game, Nintendo gets a game, who cares? If you're in that ecosystem, or if you're not, get into that ecosystem, or get to a friend's house who does have that
Right.
ecosystem, and partake.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Man, this has been great having you on, sir. I did it again. David, King David, King, the man.
Thank you.
Man, I really appreciate you being on here today, and I know you've got to actually get some vacation plans and started for the weekend,
Yeah.
and I'll say Happy Father's Day to you.
Thank you.
So
Happy Father's Day as well, sir.
thank you, I
See, I
appreciate
gave you
that.
back your sir.
I say, there you go. See, see.
It's effective.
I have a feeling I might be a little older than you. I'm just saying, I'm an
I
old
don't
guy.
know. I don't know. There's some
Pretty
grays
young
in
and chipper
there.
to
Listen,
me.
I go to Just for Men.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. King David, sir, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. If you don't mind, just tell everybody. I mean, it's going to be in the show description and everything, but tell everybody where they can find you, where they can reach out to you, and what time the Iron Lords podcast is on, that kind of thing. That would be great if you would share that with everybody right now.
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at King David OTW, or you can find me at lordsofgaming.net, where we have the Lord's Minute, and I'm there talking about things other than video games, like current event stuff or stuff that's in the movies, because we really do a lot of entertainment talk. Um, Iron Lords podcast Sundays at 1 p.m., where you will tune in, and I guarantee you will laugh. It's family friendly, so anyone can watch. We don't curse. It's just a nice environment, nice safe environment to come into, and have a good time. Everyone there has every console, so you might see a slight biasness from me, uh, but everybody has their preferences, and your preference is welcome there. So just tune in and hang out.
I love it. I love it. Again, thank you so much for your time, man. It's been a great interview. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
I
brother.
did it
Yeah,
again.
I
My
know.
goodness. Well, it comes from being respectful, to
Comes from a good
somebody that
home.
you appreciate. And well, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. And then, of course, thank you everybody for joining us today at the Outbreak Gamers. You can find more videos at outbreakpodcast.com, or just click on this channel. We have a lot of great interviews, a lot of more great ones to come. And thanks again for watching us here at Outbreak Gamers.